Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to yet another fine episode of T3Live. Going to give folks a moment to trickle in. Hopefully, everyone is doing wonderful tonight. I know that I am. So, I look forward to chatting at you all about a few interesting things and literally what a difference a day makes. So, it's time for you to stop staring at all this natural beauty and look at the beauty that is me, T3. Welcome to T3 Live, everybody. Episode number, I have no idea. I stopped counting. I'm just waiting to get the all clear from my back end department, audio department, before I proceed. So, anyway, welcome. So I noticed that in the I belong to my father's school's chat group, and um, I'm sorry for the lagginess, everybody. I live in a household of four people that all work from home and on computers. So um, it might be a little laggy, but if you watch the recording later, it'll be in better quality. So where was I? So yeah, what a difference a couple days can make. Those of you who've been following along, know my story that the last 8 months of my life, give or take, have been some of the darkest times of my life. I had a misunderstanding with a friend about me forming my own business, and things kind of went sideways from there, and basically had to set aside hundreds of hours of planning and start from scratch. And this live show is part of that because I want my audience to have as many vignettes into my life as they can. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I don't hide nothing from nobody. If I'm struggling, I'll let you know. If I'm in a great mood, I'll let you know. Right now, I'm in a really, really great mood. Back to the difference a day can make. So last week, I'm sitting at my computer in the morning, looking at my bank accounts and thinking, yeah, tomorrow's going to be the morning. I'm going to wake up and be double negative. And then within the span of 48 hours, I had two people book me for private classes. And the funds from those classes are literally going to make up a quarter of my budget for the year. So those of you who signed up for the classes, I cannot express how grateful I am. I've never been a person that's had a lot of money, but I've never really had to want for anything. Sure, I might have had to save, do that, but I'm relatively financially stable, and going from that to just the constant struggle, I can see why so much of our species, our fellow human beings, are in just such dark places because the struggle to get this imaginary currency so that you can provide yourself with food, clothes, and shelter. It's terrifying. It is effing terrifying. Um, and I took that, the time to start to learn about the world financial system and how things work and all that. And that's terrifying. The fact that governments of the world are just printing money like it's going out of style with nothing whatsoever to back it up, uh, is, obviously news that's kept from us. But yeah, so literally, I went from, wondering if I was going to be able to pay just about any of my bills to not only being able to pay my bills, but have the tiniest bit of a cushion, um, for, savings built up. And I'm hoping to continue to build on that, which is, why I'm currently running the 50% off all my photography sale. Um, I'm doing that mostly because I'm going to be retiring a lot of those images to the archive. And I'm going to be uploading stuff that I've shot in the last year. Most of the photos on there are, you know, getting pretty old. One other cool thing I wanted to share, and this is in no way, shape, or form a paid endorsement or advertisement, but I've always been a fan of Lem's shoes, particularly when they came out with the waterproof Boulder boot. And I'd say out of all the footwear that I wear, here's my original set. If this sole is at all. Remember, if we are going to be stealthy in the woods and we're not barefoot, we want to have footwear that allows our foot to move and bend and flex the way it was designed to. Uh, our feet naturally crave a connection with the ground. Our feet are earthward antenna that relay information to our brain about what we're moving on. Um, Whereas most people in the modern era, because we live in nice manicured areas with sidewalks, they just charge ahead, constantly looking at a 45-degree angle to the ground in front of them. That's the subconscious mind protecting the body just to make sure there's no obstacles. But those of you watching this, I'm sure, are familiar with wide angle vision and fox walking, and simply slowing down and feeling what you're stepping on before you commit all your weight to it. But yeah, I want a shoe that I can feel the ground with. And here in the Pacific Northwest in the winter, it gets wet, to say the least. So I'm going to give these guys a try. I'll let you know at a later date what I think. Uh, on to other things. So, one of the classes that I got booked for was a 7-day private tracking class in Montana, and with a friend of mine, and really, really looking forward to that. Actually, as of yesterday, it'll have been 6 years since I moved to Oregon, and wow, I think how many things have changed in that time. But I've been so busy working, you know. Everyone says, "Oh, I work 12-hour days. I never take a day off." No, I really work 12 to 14-hour days and really don't ever take days off. I've lived here for 6 years, and other than going to the coast with classes or the desert with classes, I haven't really been anywhere around here. So I'm looking forward to driving to Montana to do this class. And then the other gentleman that booked me, it's for a private group that's going to be down in the Santa Barbara, Ojai, I think that's how you pronounce it, area in July. Which brings me to a broader point. Remember that I am available to be booked for private education, either for yourself, your family, your group of friends that you practice nature skills with. You can shoot me an email. We'll get on the phone together and we'll work something out. I try to keep things as cheap as I absolutely positively can. Uh, those who've been following me for a while know that my end goal in all this is free nature education for all. Um, and ironically, one of the ways I'm hoping to do that is through things like cryptocurrency. Just because of the irony of the fact that here's these digital commodities or whatever you want to call them, some of which back really awesome projects that help a lot of people. Those are the ones I invest in. Um, it's just funny using this digital money meant to make internet life easier to get people into nature. And, might not happen next year or the year after, but it will happen. I am going to, once I get my feet a little more underneath me as far as being president business goes, definitely not my strong suit. I like to, just like my old man, I like to teach, I like to write. I don't like spreadsheets and numbers and things like that, and I'm hoping to grow to a point where I can, hire somebody to do a lot of the mundane day-to-day stuff. Um, so, to free me up to be more creative. I'm working, currently I'm in the process of editing a documentary I made about my life in Oregon in 2022. I'm editing photos and videos for a client who makes uh, the most amazingly beautiful hand wrapped precious polished stone jewelry. Um, so yeah, I got a lot on my plate, which is good. And I also recently discovered something called Airbnb experiences. So I just happen to live in a mother-in-law suite of a beautiful cabin that is on 12 acres of what we call Oregon old growth. So Oregon old growth is not like old growth forest. It just means that it was only ever logged once. And by talking to the forest and wandering through it, they only cut, they selectively cut. So there's quite a few, fir trees that are pushing 300 plus years old. Same with cedars and things like that. it's a really amazing place to host classes at. Plus, I'm in the process of building a amphitheater fire pit teaching area that we'll also use for other events that myself and my landlords host. A couple of cool schedule things coming up in April on Earth Day weekend. I am going to go down to Nevada City, California, and I am going to go hang out with Mr. Rick Barry of the 4EEE crew. It's 4EEE.org. I will put the web address in the show notes. Uh, we are going to run a class on the title is The Way of the Caretaker, but it's essentially going to be a some more unique situation, obviously. But, if you're 40 or 40, mid 40s like me, when you were a kid, you went outside to play. Like there was nothing else to do. And kids nowadays, as they dive deeper into the technological world, the allure of that is just so much more appealing than, having to put on a jacket and go out and explore the wilderness. And, when those kids come to power and become politicians and CEOs, without ever having had a profound experience in nature, they're going to have no problem just leveling a forest or, putting in another mine to get the materials to make more cheap disposable products to keep the wheels of the machine turning. So we're gonna the class down at Rick's. We're gonna do everything from Rick is one of the probably the finest child and nature educator I've ever known, and so yeah, we're gonna give adults ways that they can work with children in nature and not have it be boring, have it be more appealing than going out and playing Minecraft or whatever the hell kids play these days. Uh, and we're also going to work on all sorts of other awareness and caretaking based skills. I've been toying with this idea, and I actually think I'm going to write a book about it. Yeah. Just add number three. This idea of the way of the caretaker, where no matter where you are doing good. You are having a positive effect, whether you're in nature, whether you're in the city, whether you're at a friend's house. You are being an open, awesome, helpful, empathetic, understanding, aware human being and seeing places where a little bit of help can benefit that space or that person. So I essentially want to train an army of people that leave goodness in their wake, because all of I said it a million times. We are being purposely divided so that we don't band together and say enough. As Victor Hugo said, no army can withstand an idea whose time has come. And I think people are finally, slowly waking up to two things. I've been getting, quite a few students lately who are, live in the city, but now they're getting into things like hunting and, wanting to learn those sort of skills. Some other cool classes got going on. So Adam LaRue and I, Adam and his lovely partner Sarah, have a property known as the Sharpening Stone in Southern Oregon. Speaking of which, registration for their ancestral living skills gathering just, I think as of February 1st, registrations are open. They limit it to a really small amount of people, and it's an amazing time. You go there for just about a week. All your meals are included, and during the day you can learn anything from basketry to flint knapping to bone tool making to stalking and movement to you name it. And it's just a really good place to hang out and build community. So yeah, his website is thesharpeningstone.org. I will also put that in the show notes as well. Yeah, Adam and I are doing, we did a foraging the waterways class this past fall where we worked a lot with cattails and catching crawfish and hydrodynamics and all sorts of cool stuff. We have a tracks and trapping class coming up. We have a rabbit pelt tanning class coming up, and a few others, which I'm drawing a blank. Also, Andrea Kreiner and I from Red Cedar Forest Therapy. Forest therapy is the kind of scientific angle of what I teach. And it's now being scientifically proven that, yes, in fact, it is good for humans to be in nature. No shit, Sherlock. Even just 5 minutes a day, uh, seriously, has a positive effect. Um, so now there's science behind all this stuff my dad and I have been preaching forever. And it's we're going to run a half day class together, and it's just going to be ways on connecting with the forest and plugging into that web of life and instantly being connected to all the beings around you in the more than human world. Not just an alien invader, but a part of your surroundings. Andrea is an amazing woman, and I've been looking forward to this class. We've been trying to do it for a while now, but I got good feelings about this time. Um, Couple other things in closing. So in 10 days, I think I actually fly back to New Jersey to attend my little brother Cody's wedding. Um, I don't know why anyone would want to ruin a perfectly good relationship by getting married, but I'm just kidding. As someone who's been married twice. um, but yeah, I'm flying home for his wedding. I'm super stoked to see him and my brother River and my dad and Celeste and everybody else. I'm bummed I'm only staying for a couple days, but it's all I can swing at the moment. Um, so yeah, it's going to be interesting because he and I are going to be having a chat on the future tracker. Ah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Okay, I keep an eye out. I'm going to be developing a few new webinars. I currently have 6 that I run regularly and 2 special ones. I'm gonna come up with another 4 or 5 ones that I run regularly. Um, and I'm also going to be adding a few physical classes to the schedule as well between now and July 1st. But I'll be sure to let y'all know about that. Yeah, anyway, in the meantime, thank you all for taking time out of your day to listen to me ramble. You all mean the world to me. Um, your kindness, your generosity, your support, your just everything is what's got me through, one of the toughest times in my life. And, I feel like I'm almost out of the tunnel. I can clearly see the light, and I just got a few more steps I got to take, um, before I fully step into it. And then once that happens, watch out, world, because it's future nature time. All right, y'all.